Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which Mali forms an empire. Yep. And this is my second time attempting this. Yep. And well, the first thing they do is invade Burkina Faso. Why them? Because they want to build up their strength before expanding to the coast. Because they have multiple options for that. Guinea, Senegal, and I've not Cote d'Ivoire. They also have access to Mauritania. But they first pick Burkina Faso so they can have borders to Ghana, Togo, and Benin. Why would they do that? To make themselves strong. And why do they want to be strong? So nobody can take them out of this empire video. Because that wouldn't look good if you got kicked out in an empire video, no. If you lost in your own video. Well, you can, but would you? No. But you still can lose land. Usually that only happens in what if this empire came back. Usually might see it. But if it's what if they form an empire? Probably not. But if it's can they can lose. But this is not can they reform the Mali Empire. Because that question's kind of hard to answer with everything being in different spots. Yep. Exactly. So yeah. And yeah, they invade Guinea. And nobody cares. As they are headed for full annexation, Guinea-Bissau is like, no. No. You can't take out Guinea. Or else there would be no point in me being called Guinea-Bissau. And they're like, yeah, but that doesn't really matter, as crush. They started a big war. Why a bigger war? Because they can. And since they're expanding to the west right now, they pick a lot of countries to its west, but some to its south. And one up northern, but they get this country at war with them when for some reason or another this country gets involved. Yet Morocco got involved, so Algeria got involved. And what does Morocco look like, guys? You may be wondering. Well, they kind of occupy this. And the Western Sahara Arab Republic, I think that's what Western Sahara is called or something, is like that. But with Algeria not knowing why they joined this war, just to go against Morocco. But they didn't realize Morocco knew they would join and arm their border. So with trouble to break defenses, eventually defenses are broke by Morocco. But Algeria was also set up to invade another country, which is the Mali Empire, who has terrible northern borders. With them somehow starting a big war, even bigger than they thought they would. And well, in the Azawad region, well, they go through quickly. But this is showing what happened in the north. But what happened in this front will shock you. With Senegal being, well, overran quickly. And Sierra Leone is overrun. Libya is getting attacked badly. And Cote d'Ivoire. Why are they invading so many countries at once? How do they expect to do this? I don't know. But why do they want land? Well, that's a good answer. They want to make an empire, with Liberia finally falling after months of resistance. And let's go to this front, which, yeah, let's look through a few months of this front. And yeah, in a few months, a big front is opened up. But not as far north as it can go because of fear of encirclement. Morocco crosses the border of Western Sahara into northern Mauritania, and they continue their offensive into Algeria. But not getting far. But why are they doing good? Because they were prepared better than their opponent. And when you're prepared better than your opponent, you're probably going to do better. But I don't know. You're going to be as prepared as you want and still mess up by not taking the right opportunity. And well, with Mauritania on its knees, Algeria is having a surprise when in a few weeks, what took them a few months, in 2 weeks, looks more like what took them 4 months. So yeah, they're routed in the south. And I mean routed. Even with all connections to here lost. Routed. I mean, and well, their defenses completely break down in the south. To the point of, well, there's no return. They could surrender, but would they? That's what they're debating. With an ultimatum looking highly likely to be sent to Libya if they succeed. And well, with forces all on one front, with news of an offensive into Niger, rumors being true, and into Libya. And well, Niger wasn't caught too much off guard, but a lot off guard. With them getting routed. But also keep in mind, Mali's probably being much stronger in this video than they actually are. They can't take on Algeria in real life. With an advance into Libya being prominent. And well, with Morocco getting close to Algiers, they eventually get there and encircle and take the city. And Algeria is caught completely off guard for this. And well, they decide to surrender. Not long after, the forces that got here just move here. Libya decides to surrender. But Niger, seeing that they'll be fully annexed at the end, doesn't. And well, while that happened in the first week of us being somewhere else than here, that kind of happened. And yeah. So yeah. With it being inevitable that Niger will be fully annexed, they kind of surrender. After this much land was annexed by the Mali Empire, well, everybody starts faring, including Nigeria and Egypt and Chad and all the smaller neighbors. So they all meet. And countries like Nigeria, Egypt, Chad, Sudan, Cameroon, Benin, Togo, and Ghana, including Sao Tome and Principe, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, Dr. Congo, well, yeah, Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, and then nations that want to be part of the EAF follow suit. But some nations don't join. This is what they end up with. Tunisia says we're surrounded. There's nothing we can do if we try to help you. And then, for some reason or another, there is a rebel group in here rises up. And, well, they quickly expand. And then there's proposed evidence that they're part of the plan for expansion of the central of the Mali Empire, as they want to join the Mali Empire. And they quickly look like this. And with no evidence, besides the fact they want to join the Mali Empire being used, well, there's no good evidence, basically. They just are making a baseless claim for an excuse to go to war. With quickly after hearing this blame, they actually put forces in and then do support them. Why do they support them? To teach their enemies a lesson. Why would they do that? Because they can. Should they do that? No. But would they? Yeah. Are they going to? Yeah. With FRA trying to hold the front line. But really, the only success right now is in two fronts, which is the Libyan front and the Nigerian front. But keep in mind, these aren't that impressive. It's only early in this conflict. And the rebel forces do not get kicked back. But Chad, Sudan, and Egypt make an offensive. Keep in mind, Sudan probably can't do much with their current situation. Let's pretend that doesn't exist. Wait, what? Yep, let's pretend it never happened. With the Libyan front being a puppet just to protect, with a desert to protect the country, as in a buffer zone, basically. But they didn't manage to move those rebel forces back, so the rebel forces have a humongous advance towards the Central African Republic, which these forces want to join the Mali Empire, with the Mali Empire having a huge offensive of its own. They even take the coast away from Togo and Benin and enter Nigeria. Yep, that goes on. And then with the Chad offensive made. It's called the Chad offensive because its plan is to take out Chad. And the rebel factions, the rebel group is helping them, the three rebel groups. But in total, they're just the pro-Mali Empire rebels. And so, yeah, with an advance into the Central African Republic, Nigeria attempts a counteroffensive, so does Chad and the DRC. The DRC's counteroffensive goes pretty well, liberating countless land. The Chad counteroffensive almost pushes all the way back to the border. And the Nigerian one kicks them back almost to their own border. But then comes this counteroffensive led by the Mali Empire. And Nigeria is unready for the sheer number that's getting sent at them. 3 million forces get sent at Nigeria. And they're also well trained and well equipped. Yep. Tell me how that's possible now. And well, in the north, they're kicked back miles and miles and miles. And then the rebel group starts their own offensive, although not as large. And the rebel group also advancing here. But the regular Mali Empire forces advance there too. They cross into the Central African Republic. And well, here, this offensive just is restarted. And yeah. And is headed for the populous area of this country. And in Chad, they're kicked back. Egypt is managing to hold its front. Egypt is sent a peace deal in which they get a bit of the land that they get the land they occupy, and they switch sides. And they'll get land from Chad and Sudan, including this area. And they take that deal. This Neo-African Union and joining the Red Team. After taking land, they didn't get what they occupied, but they got better land because they got more coast. Because that's all that's useful, basically. Yep, and they move into the Halab Triangle, is it called? I don't know what it's called. And that might be the wrong land. And, well, their advance is successful. And a 10 advance is hit 10 speed, which is just, fancy way of me calling speeds. I call it based on the size of the brush. Yep. That's probably not how it works, but yeah. A brush advance. With the DRC starting a counter-offensive, which is really successful in Nigeria, as they're sending about 10 million forces. Oh. But they get stopped, oddly. And then they realize the Mali Empire now has 15 million forces on the front lines. And it quickly gets to 20 million, with the other team now trying to catch up. But they're basically using a big human wave tactic. With movements towards Khartoum. Khartoum is taken. And yeah. And with the capitulation of Chad happening, quickly they take the rest of the land. Sudan capitulates. And quickly, this is what the front line looks like. With Nigeria quickly capitulating. And, well, Sao Tome and Principe fall. Cameroon falls. Not long after does Central African Republic fall. And the rest of the nations leave the war. First goes Equatorial Guinea, then South Sudan, then Rwanda and Burundi, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Dr. Congo, Gabon, and then the Republic of Congo finally come to their senses and surrender. And the Mali Empire has free reign over these lands, including those rebels, and they're probably going to make some puppets. And then we'll see the ending of this, to be about a third of the size of Africa, it looks like. And, well, they got a puppet called Central Africa, they called it. They called this puppet Nigeria, even though only a tiny bit of Nigeria. It's mostly Cameroon. This is Libya, it's puppet state. Gained a tiny bit of land. Egypt's got a lot of land. And they got a puppet state called Sudan. Yes. They get Sudan as their puppet state for all the work they did in taking out Sudan. And, well, Egypt is also strong, but will they maintain their independence? With the Mali Empire splitting itself into a few regions. But I don't know how they would split into region. With their Central African region, the Saharan state, the Mali state, yep, the West African state, the Nigerian state, and the Mauritanian state. And that's how they would divide themselves in the states, I believe. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did. Comment and all that stuff you do. And it would be great, because we're trying to get to 375 subscribers by May 1st. We're at 261. So hopefully you can get to at least 300 by the end of the month. That would be great if we could. And I also have the 250 subscriber special to make, which I'll make soon. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, subscribe, comment. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out.